Do you prefer getting out in the running game and hitting somebody, or do you kind of like, I know you talked about working on your pass pro, or do you like doing the pass pro and being going up against them?
I like getting down and dirty and hitting somebody and running your feet. That's just, there's nothing that beats it. And then pancaking that guy, yeah, it doesn't get better than that.
Okay, another fun one, man. I see you was eating some pretty good grub when I came in. What's your favorite thing to eat, you know what I'm saying, off the field?
Off the field, my probably go-to is wings. I've got some wings out there right now. I love hot honey wings, garlic parm wings, lemon pepper wings. I love wings for sure.
What's your favorite spot to go to get wings?
There's a spot. It's like closer to Forsyth area. It's because my mom lives out there, and it's right by that Kroger. It's called Subwing.
Subwing.
Yeah, it's called Subwing, and it's got some of the greatest. They got Phillies. It's good food.
Really?
Yes, sir. It's good food.
Okay. I'm going to have to check it out. Say it again.
Subwing. Subwing. It's a little hole-in-the-wall spot that if you looked at first glance, you'd be like, yeah, I'm not going there.
Those are the best spots. Though.
Exactly.
Hole-in-the-wall.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. So I'm back with Josh Pettyman, a Fellowship Christian, 5-star tackle, man. So for those that don't know you, Josh, just tell a little bit about your journey playing football. What just attracted you to the sport?
So I started in 4th grade with flag football, and I was playing at I-9 Sports. And I got kicked out of that league because I ran over a kid and I was just too big. So it was just like, you know what, go and play tackle football. That's what you need to go do. So played 5th grade through 8th grade on the Cambridge feeder team. And then I came here, and I've been in that fellowship ever since, and I've been loving it. Yes, sir.
And then if you can't talk about your journey, obviously here with Fellowship Christian, it's different. I know faith is a big part of what you guys do. But for those that don't know about the Fellowship Christian experience, talk a little about that.
I mean, the Fellowship Christian experience is definitely special for sure. I mean, we've got great guys pouring into us, athletes all the time, you know, great guys on the team. And the one thing I can say about us is for sure we're Christian-led athletes. You know, that guy, we got receivers out here, Evan, big dude out here, Christian-led athlete, big guys, you know, 5 stars, 3 stars, guys all around that God is their faith, and like God is number one to them. And I think that's special because you don't see that in a lot of places, and I appreciate that here.
For you, if you don't mind sharing your story, what does kind of God mean to you?
I mean, God is, I've always found faith in God and found trust in God. My family grew up Christian. I grew up in a black household with my dad's side, and he's always been, you know, into those churches. You know, they dancing, they singing, all the good stuff, and it has been great. You know, that church has been awesome, and you know that kind of inspires you and leads you when seeing that and seeing how passionate those people are about God, and just, you know, keeping that firm found in my heart. And yeah, that's
for you. How has the off season kind of been, just as far as your program, you training? What have you been working on the most?
It's been busy, that's for sure. Some things, I've been working on my pass game a lot. In the lab with Velocity, they've got a great facility over there. And I've been working with those guys, Coach Nick, Coach Josh, just getting right, trying to get ready for the season. Over here lifting weights, getting big with my team, trying to build something over here, trying to, you know, be special. We're trying to win one for our last year.
And speaking of that, if you can, just talk a little bit about building here. I mean, we've seen a lot of you guys as players getting more notice, right? C.J. Givers, Evan Haynes. We've seen the opposite, and Jonathan Graham getting an offer as well. Talk a little bit about that, seeing more people wanting to come and see you guys.
You know, the recruiting hasn't always been huge at Fellowship Christian. Let me start with that. We had a guy before, you know, our whole guys came in. We had a guy, and this was probably the biggest recruit they've had ever, Charlie Patterson. He went to Virginia Tech. He was offensive tackle, good, very talented guy. He came back not too long ago. But it kind of started with, you know, our head coach leaving, going to Georgia Tech. You know, that opened that avenue there. I started relations with them, and then I got my first offer from Tech, and my recruitment kind of blew up. And then as guys were coming in to see me, they're like, oh, yeah, you got big old receiver who runs fast and can catch the ball. You got a nice running back who's got great vision and a quarterback who slings it. So, I mean, the recruiting has obviously just advanced when people get their eyes on us and they see how special these athletes we have here are.
Certainly. And I know next year you obviously play offensive line, but I know you play some defensive line as well on this team. So kind of talk about your versatility, being able to play kind of both sides of the ball and still be effective.
I think that playing both sides of the ball is one of the things that I felt has made me special through my recruiting journey. Like a lot of tackles, they play better because I know as a D lineman what I would want to do against a guy like myself, or what I'm thinking based on the down and the yards and down and stuff like that. But I mean, playing it on the team has helped tremendously in those positions. I can step up on a leader on both sides of the field and help our team get it done, making the big plays, making the excitement, and turning the tables.
Certainly. And then for you, let's go back to offensive line. Who's been the toughest guy you've went against, having to block against in a game?
In a game, I'm so sorry because I forget his name every time. But there was my freshman year, we played Calvary Day there. No one wanted us to win. We were going in there. Nobody wanted us to win. We weren't expected to win. They were supposed to beat us. They had a talented team. They had 4 stars, 5 stars. They had all over the table. It was crazy. But there was an edge there, and I'm pretty sure he committed to Notre Dame. And that guy could rush the passer like no other. And as a freshman, I was like looking back on the game, and I was like, he didn't get a sack at all, so I feel good. And then my quarterback was talking about it with me like a couple weeks later, and he was like, that guy hit me almost every single play. And I was like, maybe that game didn't go how I thought it would.
Right. That's cool. And then as a flip side, what about defensively? Kind of hardest tackle or a guy you went against on the offensive line?
Defensively, I got to put St. Francis, Big Nick, and Braden Jacobs. Those guys are big people movers right there. That's for sure. They get their feet moving, and they're big, and they get up on you, and they can protect the passer as well. Those are 2 talented tackles that used to be at St. Francis, which we played every year. Right. But now they're gone. So. Yeah.
Gotcha. What are some goals you want to accomplish this year? I know obviously state championship, winning that 15th game, but for you personally, what are some things you want to accomplish?
Personally, I just want to set the same tone like I've done every year. I mean, offensive line wise, I want to give up no sacks, but I mean I haven't yet. So I just that's an expectation for me more than a dream, I would say. I want to be as dominant as it was last year. I want to be more dominant. I want to be pancaking guys, finishing guys. I just want to do the same things last year multiplied. I know I can't really count pancakes, to be honest, so I don't know that number exactly, but yeah, I just want it to be more.
Do you prefer getting out in a running game and hitting somebody, or do you kind of I know you talked about working on your pass pro, or do you like doing the pass pro and being going up against them?
I like getting down and dirty and hitting somebody and running your feet. There's nothing that beats it. And then pancaking that guy, yeah, it doesn't get better than that.
And then tell us about this year. I don't know about some of your players, but who's some guys maybe you're mentoring at the offensive line spot, this year for you guys that are kind of, taking some things away from you?
We've got this big tackle, Patrick Schickel. He's a tall, long guy like myself, got a little bit of a different build going on, but he's one of those young guys that I think can develop into a really good tackle. I've been working with him on some of his kick step, and even if not, that defensive line, we've been working on it both ways. He's a talented guy, and, I hope he can see the next level.
Certainly. Okay, and then, let's see, what angle I want to ask you on this one. What is your favorite thing to do pregame before you go in? Are you a meditation guy? Do you like listen to music? What do you like to do pregame?
Pregame, that's a tough one because I'm a basic guy pregame, but I'm gonna say nap. I'm a huge napper. I'll nap any chance I get, and it'll be like a short little 5-minute nap. Well, I remember one time it was in a meeting, we were taking a break, and I'm sitting there like napping past, dozing off, and my coach got a Gatorade. And the whole team was, he always preaches, don't mess with people on game day. Don't do anything on game day. And he poured it in my mouth, and I woke up. It went everywhere. And I was just like, man, it was, yeah.
Nothing beats them nice stories.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, another fun one, man. I see you was eating some pretty good grub when I came in. What's your favorite thing to eat, off the field?
Off the field, my probably go-to is wings. I've got some wings out there right now. I love hot honey wings, garlic parm wings, lemon pepper wings. I love wings for sure.
What's your favorite spot to go to get wings?
There's a spot. It's like closer to Forsyth area. It's because my mom lives out there, and it's right by that Kroger. It's called Subwing.
Subwing.
Yeah, it's called Subwing, and it's got some of the greatest. They got Phillies. It's good food.
Really?
Yes, sir. It's good food.
Okay. I'm going to have to check it out. Say it again.
Subwing. It's a little hole-in-the-wall spot that if you looked at first glance, you'd be like, yeah, I'm not going there.
Those are the best spots, though.
Exactly.
Hole-in-the-wall.
Exactly.
For you, what's been your favorite moment through your high school or prep career that you've experienced? Whether that's, before high school, what's been your favorite moment?
Going back to it, I'm going to have to say the Calvary Day game again. Some unforgettable memories in that hotel that night. The team just going crazy. We beat a team that we weren't supposed to beat, and it was just, it was a good group of guys at that point coming in, and, yeah, we just had a blast.
Obviously, I know this is a Christian program, but who's kind of like the rah-rah guy, kind of the crazy guy on the team, you have to say?
The crazy guy on the team? We used to have this guy named Octavius, and he sadly transferred out, but he was crazy for sure. But, it depends. I can get in that mood where it's just like, yeah, it's time to go, and it's screaming at everybody. So, sometimes I would say that was me. But, I'd say Chuck's up there for sure, Charles Sharp. Evan can get us going sometimes. But, yeah, we usually just carry off each other's energy.
For you, are you more so a vocal leader, or do you like to kind of lead by example?
I kind of do both. I try to, be the first one to drills, do the drills, stuff like that, little things. And then, speak up because, if the guys aren't hearing you, then they're not really going to know which way you want to lead them. So I think, there's a balance to both. And, you got to lead by actions, because then they're not going to follow through if you don't lead by actions. And if they don't know what you're saying, then they're not going to know where you want them to lead. So, yes, sir.
All right, man. So you are on the Mr. Georgia's top 10 watch list, right? Only I think it's like maybe one or two offensive linemen on that list. What does that mean to you to kind of be on that list? It's kind of, a prestigious award, first annual year of Mr. Georgia football. What does that mean to you to kind of be on that list?
That's huge. That's huge. I didn't even know about this till yesterday. My athletic director told me about it, and I was like, really? That's awesome. I was blown away because especially as offensive linemen, guys that, don't get their name called, don't get noticed that much, that's huge. It really feels great that, Georgia's picking out some of the special athletes and looking at everybody.
Sir, well, it's a committee. You got my vote.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
On there, man. I know he's a great offensive lineman. I was like, we want more skilled guys. It's like, no, you gotta take care of the offensive line.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask you a little bit about your recruiting. You got a decision coming up next weekend. So first off, just how excited are you for that and kind of to be able to make the decision and focus on the season?
Man, I haven't gotten to say this enough. I've been dreaming of my commitment day since I was a little boy, since I started playing football, because it's when you're at that age, it's like, all I want to do is play at the next level. And, I've always kind of want to be in this position that I was in and be in the position to make a decision rather than be chosen, be in a school with a couple offers and they're like, oh, yeah, we'll take you, and that's the only school. But to be wanted by so many schools and be pursued like this, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing beyond a blessing. And to finally come down and hammer it down and, put the coffin in the nail, or the nail in the coffin with that and my recruiting, it's nerve-wracking, it's exciting, it's all of the above, to be honest.
For you, when did your recruiting kind of take off?
My recruiting, I would say I got my first offer after my sophomore year in about the winter with Georgia Tech. Then I got Virginia Tech with Coach Rudolph over there at that staff. Duke came. And then I think after Duke came, it might have been South Carolina, I want to say, and they just started rolling. They just started rolling. And it picked up to it got in the 20s, and it calmed down. I'd get one every now and again. And then it may have been after my junior year, they just started rolling again, and the big ones started coming. And yes, sir, it was great.
What advice would you give others, maybe with a similar story, like, sophomore year only having that one select offer, but then, like you said, it starts to pick up? What advice would you give other kids in your position?
It's hard, but trust the process and don't lose faith in your school. If you're a recruit that is going to play at the next level, you're going to be recruited from any school that you go to. And I truly and honestly believe that. And I think that, when I came to fellowship, I got a lot of hate personally because they're like, they're not going to be able to recruit you there. No one's going to find you. Mm-hmm. But it happened. I made it happen. It worked out. And I think that you shouldn't lose faith in your school. And, there's times where I wanted to look to transfer out, but I stayed firm in my school, and now I'm in the position that I am. Thank God.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Let's talk about some of those finalists. Let's start with Georgia Tech. That was your first ever offer, as you said. You were just on campus. They offered, obviously, your quarterback.
Yes, sir.
So just talk about that. How was that weekend for you? What did you enjoy the most?
It was a great weekend. It was good being up there with the guys. Our group hasn't gotten together in a while, so it was good to just, hang out up there with the coaches, getting used to the staff and seeing the players.
What have you enjoyed the most in your recruitment with Georgia Tech? Because I know you were on campus, I believe it was early June.
Yes, sir.
And then you just went back recently. So what have you enjoyed the most about your recruitment with them?
The consistency. Georgia Tech has been consistent throughout my recruitment. I really appreciate that.
And what has your relationship been like with Coach Jeep Wade?
Me and Coach Wade's relationship has been great. We keep up often. We see each other when we get down there, and he's one of those coaches, man. He'll get on you, and he's gonna get into you. Yes, sir.
Your favorite thing about the program in totality?
In totality, the academics.
Speak a little bit about that, because like you said, to go to Georgia Tech, you got to be really good academically.
Yes, sir.
So, what about that part kind of like sticks out to you? Because like I said, I think it's like 1 in 3 are millionaires that go there.
Yes, sir. And those stats are obviously exaggerated. Everybody looks at those and they get happy, but the people that put in the hard work, they show it there. You're gonna get paid off and you're gonna become a millionaire. And I think it really retails back to my dad, to be honest. If it, I don't know if retail is the right word, just thinking back on that, but it kind of just turns all back to my dad, to be honest, because he was the guy drilling me on my academics, making sure I get my extra IXL in, my iReady, stuff like that, making sure that my grades are always A's. I'm only allowed 1 B or 2 89s if it comes to it, and so he's just always been grilling me on those, and so I've always kind of held that close to heart.
And if you can expound on that, how does that standard help you think in your life and where you want to accomplish what you need?
100%. I mean, setting high standards for yourself and being able to execute them helps you in so many ways, with your belief in yourself, 100%. I know I can go out there and get that done, so I know I can do this on the field. I know I can, go out there and if I set to my goals, I'm going to achieve them, and that's very reassuring as a young man. I'll say that for sure.
All right, let's talk Florida State, man.
Yes, sir.
What do you like about that program?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Coach Atkins. That guy is a great coach for sure. He's been special throughout the recruitment process, always taking care of us, making sure we got everything. And he's a grade A coach. Doesn't get much better than Coach Atkins. I know that for sure. That program special with Coach Norvell, he's got a vision, and I believe in it, and I know he's speaking the truth. I know that's happening over there. My sister's over there as well, so that's very helpful for me.
Are they as passionate as they say he is, Coach Norvell?
It's unbelievable.
Really?
It's unbelievable. The yelling, the screaming he get, yeah. And so my true first impression of him was when he came down to the school, and me and my parents were talking, and he was like, yeah, he's very calm, very very low temper, not. And then we got to FSU, and we were like, yeah, this isn't the same man. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was telling us he was staying calm for the school, didn't want to, abrupt anything. But when we were back in FSU, man, he was going after it. He goes after those guys, yes, sir.
I'm sure you've been to a game, right?
I have not an FSU game.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what's the experience like at the game? I heard this historic atmosphere.
I hear it is as well, yes, sir.
Got you. Okay. Let's talk about another one. Tennessee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My dream team growing up.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Tennessee has been one of those schools for me that I looked up. I grew up, cried at their losses, cried at their wins. Big team for me for sure. I grew up bleeding orange, and my dad's a big Tennessee fan as well. So that recruitment and that offer was unreal, being in those facilities, feeling the history that's been in that place.
And what's the relationship been like with the coaches there for you?
The relationship with the coaches is great. Coach Ellerby, he's been real with me throughout this whole process. It's been really, really great with him. That's for sure. Coach Heupel as well. He's got that great offense, fast pace. Kicking back, getting guys on their toes. So that's kind of special to see in the offense. You'll see that a lot. And yeah.
Gotcha. Have you been up there for?
For a game day?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, walk me through just one of the games you've been to. What did you like the most?
I went to their Georgia game, and the fans were adamant, but I mean it still was Georgia, so that they sadly did not win there. But the game day environment was special. It was crazy. Yeah, they got people screaming. They had Dolly Parton there. It was live. Yes, sir.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. Okay, Stanford.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, I'm an academic guy, so I feel like Stanford's one of those schools that you see and it just sticks out to you. That degree is second to none, to be honest, in the recruiting world especially. It doesn't get better than that. What they're building over there, I feel, is real, and it's going to take a couple years to build, in my opinion. And I think that it's going to be special over there, but they just gotta. It's not the same Stanford it used to be.
Gotcha. For you, does that matter? Like, you go to a program that's kind of building, or do you want to go to a program that's kind of already? Hey, they're known.
It doesn't matter. To be honest, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there, but it doesn't matter because. The biggest piece of it is finding where you're going to be, the most. It's finding where you're going to be the best fit for you, and it doesn't matter if it's rebuilding in the position. If you find the right fit, then you find the right fit. It doesn't matter about other, stupid intangible. It doesn't matter about stupid, stuff like that. But the stuff you need, the stuff that the core.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
What's your thoughts on them coming to the ACC?
I thought it was going to be the Big 10, to be honest, and Big 12. Sorry, I thought it was going to be the big that, to be honest. But seeing it to the ACC was it was different for sure. It was. I like to see the transition. They're going to be traveling a lot. They're going to be going, ways to play some games. But it'll be good to see the transition and see how that Pac-12 team kind of sifts off to that environment.
Last one, Ohio State.
OHIO. It's yes, sir. It's a great program, passionate fan base. That's for sure. The fans are unreal around there. They really care about their guys. That recruitment has it was kind of in the later half. They were one of those in my 5 that kind of picked out, and I was confident about them. Coach Fry up there, he's got great things going on. He's a great online coach, putting guys out in the league nonstop. Yes. They're really doing it like that, and the competition up there, it's unreal. They got 5 stars, 4 stars. They'll get you ready for the league. There's no doubt about that. And I think that program's been great.
Have you been up there for a visit?
I have been up there for a visit. I went up there for an OV. And I was back there earlier, maybe in the springtime, I believe.
What was just your favorite thing? Just you talked about the players, but just about the campus in general.
Campus in general, I just like the look of campus. The feel they've kind of got on their campus. The landscaping was nice. The buildings, architecture was cool. So, yes, sir.
Got you. All right. So, again, your decision's your decision. But I do want to ask you: do you feel like you know where you want to go, or do you feel like it's going to be kind of come up to the last day?
It's gonna come up to the last days, to be honest. It's tough right now. It's tough for sure.
I can imagine.
Yes, sir.
Tell the future fans or wherever you're gonna go, what are they getting in Josh Petty?
The future fans, what are you getting in Josh Petty? I feel like I gotta look at the camera for this one. Future fans of whatever team I go to, I just want you to know that you're gonna get a committed young athlete who wants the betterment for his team. He wants to win. He's hungry. And he's ready to get after it and compete, do whatever it takes to get the win, to get the championship, to do it, to get it done with his teammates. He wants it. He wants to compete, and he wants to get out there and play as soon as possible. And I hope you guys support that.
Certainly. Last 2, and I'll let you go.
Yes, sir.
Have you been able to play NCAA yet?
I've seen. Oh, actually, I did play some, but we're not. Yeah, it was bad. I'm not a video game guy, to be honest. I wasn't. Oof. Yeah.
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 What was the first thing you did?
I was down at FSU, and I was using FSU, and I was getting beat by Minnesota bad.
Oh.
Yeah. We don't want to. Video games are not my strong suit. UFC's an exception, though.
Yeah.
UFC's an exception. Oh, I love the UFC games.
Who's your favorite UFC fighter?
UFC fighter. I mean, I feel like it's cliche, but I just got to go John Jones. That man is vicious. It doesn't get better than that.
Nah, he's one of the best in the game.
Yes, sir.
As well. Okay, what can we expect from you, Josh, this year, and also this fellowship program?
I think that you can expect these fellowship paladins to compete, and a lot of people don't think we can do that. And a lot of people don't expect us to do that against hardship in some of these teams that we're playing. But I think you'll see a different fellowship Christian. I think this year we really want it. We're going to get after it. I think that you guys should be ready for that.
Obviously, it's one game at a time, but what game are you most maybe excited for this upcoming season?
Savannah Christian. Savannah Christian. Yes, sir.
So you know what? For those that are watching, I can feel it from this young man. It just has a different mindset, different kind of dog about yourself. Not a lot of people would say that. So we know how good they are with the defensive front. What most you excited about? They got Elijah Griffin, LaDamian Guyton, some pretty good guys.
I'm excited about the whole piece of it. I'm excited to compete. I'm excited to go out there and show them Savannah boys what Fellowship Christian's made of. You know, no disrespect to them. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be hard fought for sure. But I think that game is going to be a shocker for some people, and Fellowship Christian's going to get after it.
Certainly. What's your favorite thing to do outside of football?
Outside of football, I mean, I feel like that's a tough question, to be honest. And I get that question all the time, and I'm just like, what's one thing I would do? I hang out with my guys, to be honest. That's it. That's kind of what comes to mind. Like, hang out, play UFC, go in the pool, just regular teenage kid stuff, to be honest.
Certainly. Now, obviously, last one, you're a high academic guy. If you had to say, what would you want to be growing up outside of football? Or what do you want to major in when you go off to school?
Outside of football, what would I want to be? I probably want to get into finance. Both my parents are in finance, and how to move. About money, how to make money, stuff like that. Money will come, and I think, one of my big things is to be successful, and I hope for that, and I strive for that. And what was the other part of that?
What would you want to major in when you go off to school?
Finance, probably.
Finance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is your time now as we kind of close out. Any last words? Anything you want to tell the Paladin faithful? Or any last words you want to say to the camera before we close out?
Appreciate y'all tuning in.